Hey, hope everyone is well. We're back for episode 7. So we spoke last week about the 10 faculties of the soul, which were split into two groups. The singles, which are wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, or wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, and the 7 emotive attributes, which go from chesed all the way to malchut. These are the emotional traits of a human being, and these reflect and mirror the 7 days of creation, which we'll get into later. Today, I want to focus on the 3 intellectual faculties and explain to you what these really are, because as we said in the last video, the 3 intellectual faculties are called the mothers. Why? Because your intellect controls your emotions and can, just like a mother will birth children, the intellect can birth emotions. What does that practically mean? It means that if you ponder long enough on a concept and understand it and internalize it, it will change how you feel about something. Meaning you can birth new emotions. You thought you were scared of something, you learned all about it, you realize it's actually not harmful for you, you're not scared of it anymore, right? Simple as that. So let's talk about what these 3 intellectual faculties are. And those are Chochmah, Binah, and Daat, which are wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. The 3 root words that make up Chabad. Chet, Bet, Dalet, Chochmah, Binah, Daat. Okay, and this is what separates Chabad from all other sects of Hasidic Jewry, that Chabad is based on the intellectual faculties, controlling your emotional attributes, which allows you to become a master of your thought, speech, and action. Okay, let's start with the first one, which is Chochmah. Chochmah is wisdom. Now, oftentimes we use borrowed terms. We borrow terms that don't really mean what they actually mean in order to explain something. So when you think of someone who's wise, this person has amassed a ton of information, and now they can share it, or at least it's stored within them, which makes them super wise, right? Because you can't be wise without a whole bunch of knowledge. As it relates to the faculties of our soul, however, wisdom, Chochmah, is actually a much more abstract faculty. And what I mean by that is that when an idea first hits your head, it hits you like a lightning strike. There's a split second where the idea has not been developed at all. It's so undeveloped that you don't even really know what it is. And if you take the letters of the word Chochmah, which is Chet, Chaf, Mem, and Hey, and you rearrange them, you actually get 2 words, which is Koach Ma, which is the power of what. And if you think about that, you're like, well, what does that mean? The power of what means that there's a great potential, there's a great power in this faculty, in this thought, but you still don't even know what it is because you haven't extrapolated it, you don't even understand it yet, you haven't broken it out to mean anything. You just know that there's something there, right? It hits you like a flash of lightning, and you're like, wow, I have an idea. Now, you haven't really even broken it down, so you don't know what it is yet. So at this point, it is the power of what? It is Koach Ma. Now, this is actually the highest level of your intellectual faculties. And since our faculties mirror God's faculties, it says that Hashem created all of this world with his Chochmah, with that initial flash. But it would seem to be the opposite when it comes to understanding concepts or feeling concepts, because a lightning strike is great, but if you can't develop it into anything, then what good does it do for you? I have this great idea. It's all just in my potential, but it doesn't actually get utilized for anything. So what good is that for me, right? It's just stored energy. So that takes us to the next faculty, which is Binah. Binah is understanding. Now, in order to truly and fully understand this concept, what you have to do is you have to outline it from every angle. You have to break it apart into a million different pieces so that you can say that you fully understand a subject. Take any subject in the world, you have to do a ton of research. You have to understand every single aspect of it. And then from there, you contemplate it long enough in order to now say that I have a full grasp and understanding of this concept. So Binah isn't just like, I kind of understand. It's I fully understand. I understand completely. So to say that you fully understand a subject, it means you have to have put in an immense amount of work in order to be able to really master the concept, because you can't get a clear understanding without knowing every aspect. So we are going to say that Binah is actually a full-on understanding, where if Chochmah is the seed of the idea, where all you see is this one little seed, you don't really know what's in it. Binah is when the seed has been planted, it's been watered, now there's roots growing everywhere, it's built out into this big tree, and you finally now have a fully grown, developed tree that you can appreciate came from this seed. Okay, so the seed contained every possible aspect of that tree within it, but it wasn't a tree until Binah came and developed it, right? The water came and developed it. So that's how it works intellectually with ideas. The last thing I want to get to is the third faculty of the intellectual part of our soul, which is called Daat. Daat means knowledge. However, we always think of knowing as sort of this disconnected idea where I know that person, but I'm me and he's him. I know what time it is. Great. There's time, there's me, we're not connected. I just happen to know something as a fact. When we talk about Chassidus, knowledge or Daat literally means attachment. Just like it says that Adam knew Chava, that the first man knew the first woman, that is a bonding. It's almost like a covalent bonding for all you science nerds. And basically what that means is that there's an attachment. How does this attachment happen as it relates to knowledge? This is really important. If you take the seed and you extrapolate it into something so much so that you've pulled every part of potential out of it in Binah. So you have the seed in Chochmah, Binah extrapolates it, now it's fully developed. Now you want to eat from the fruit of the tree. That fruit becomes part of you. That is what Daat really means. Daat is a knowledge to the point where you know it so much that it becomes a part of you. Now, why is Daat important? You obviously can't get to Daat without Binah, and you can't get to Binah without Chochmah. If you have no lightning strike of an idea, there's nothing to develop. But once you develop it, you could understand it fully and it not become a part of you because you haven't dwelled on it long enough. You haven't hammered this point home. But once you know it, that now means that it changes who you are. There is a direct effect on you as a person. And that is what allows the mothers, Chochmah and Binah, to birth the rest of your emotions. So Daat is very important. Knowledge is very important because when you know something in that sense, it changes you. And that allows you to affect all the rest of your emotions. So Daat acts as a bridge. Daat is the bridge that connects your intellect to your emotions. Without this bridge, you cannot affect positive change. And look in any modern psychology, this is true whether you're looking at it from Judaism or not. The Tanya just happened to nail it down hundreds of years ago. And this is a super important concept, so we will focus on it a lot moving forward. For now, my 10 minutes is up. Happy Hanukkah and peace.